Okay, you guys, Barca 5, Sevilla 2. What a sensational game from the Blaugranas at home. Raphinha had a hat-trick, Dani Olmo was on the score sheet, and Joao Cancelo was magical and brilliant. But what made this even more special was seeing Gavi back on the field for the first time in a very, very long time after suffering from some injury. Let's talk about it. But first, if this is your first time seeing one of my videos, hi guys, I am Just Max, and on this channel I talk about football, La Liga, the Prem, UCL, and of course it's always going to be Vizca Barca for me, as I am a Barca fan. If this is something that you are interested in, please stick around, be my friend, be my homie, hit that subscribe button, leave me a comment in the comment section about this game, and of course like this video. But let's dive into what we have just seen from FC Barcelona, because it was a 5-2 demolition of Sevilla at the Camp Nou, and it was fitting because the last time we played against Sevilla in Seville, we suffered a 4-1 humiliation at their hand, and honestly I wanted to get my comeback. I wanted to get my leg back. I knew that we were going to be able to master it at home, and we have done just that. The only thing I'm angry about is that we did not get a clean sheet in this match. We're going to talk about the goals that Sevilla did score, but honestly I'm satisfied that we put them to the sword just like they did us when we went to visit them. And the 3 points in the bags, of course, is always cherry on top. But before I get ahead of myself, let's look at the lineup that Hansi Flick put on the pitch, because of course it was Joan Garcia in goal, and I thought he had a good performance today. Didn't really have much to do, to be fair, but when he needed to do something, he was coding and he did what he needed to do. Xavi Espat was Barcelona's right back today. He was good mostly, but he did concede that chance that, you know, led to the first goal. So he's his debut for Barcelona, so I'm not going to hop on the youngster. He's still a growing defender, so I'm going to give him a pass for today. Pau Kubasi and Gerard Martin were Barcelona centre-back pairing, and honestly they are starting to look like the ones. They are really looking like the ones, because they had that thing on lock. Of course, I would flag that Barcelona did lose a little bit of concentration at the end of the first half, and of course at the end of the 90 game, which led to like Sevilla scoring a goal on either side of the half. But other than that, I felt like they had a really good goal. They were there to give the clearance, and Pau Kubasi being able to progress the ball is something that we don't talk about enough. Joao Cancelo was just brilliant. Listen, Joao Cancelo today reminded me of that ex that says, if you give me a second chance, I swear I will not let you down. And ever since Barcelona gave Joao Cancelo a second chance, which I was not in favor of, by the way, and it was not because of the fact that I questioned his ability going forward. No, it was his defending that I was kind of like, you know. But anyway, ever since Joao Cancelo came back for Barcelona this second time, he has just been sensational and brilliant, to the point that I think that Alejandro Balde might be in trouble. Actually, might is not the word. Is in trouble. That is the word. Is in trouble. Yeah, because Joao Cancelo created 2 opportunities for Barcelona to score with those 2 pens that he won, and of course he did end up creating a solo goal for himself in this match, and I thought he was brilliant. In the midfield, we did have Pedri, and he did not have an impact on this game, and I say that because he did not have a bad game either. I think midway towards the first half, the commentators were talking about the fact that Pedri had only had 20 touches or thereabout. He was not needed, and it's not a bad thing. It's not every time that we have to run the game through him. Today, he was just not needed, and that's okay. You know, he didn't have a bad game, he didn't have a great game, he was just kind of there, and that's fine. Marc Bernal and Dani Olmo, though, they had impact. You know, they had impact. Dani Olmo had a goal, Marc Bernal created a goal, and I thought that they combined very well for Barcelona. Rooney Bagdaji, he came on for Lamine Yamal in that right-hand position, the right-wing position. And much like Pedri, he didn't really have an impact. He was just kind of there. You know, I kind of expected a little bit more from him. He did not give, but that's okay. Robert Lewandowski, though, he's the one that I kind of feel a little bit bad for in this game, because I felt like the one thing that was missing from this game for Barcelona was Robert Lewandowski's goal, and he should have had at least 2 goals. He did have that one header that went wide, and then he did have that 1v1 opportunity that he chipped the goalkeeper, but it just kind of went wide as well. So I felt like, you know, having a goal on the score sheet for Robert Lewandowski would have just put the icing on the cake for this performance of Barcelona. Raphinha, he was the man of the match in this performance. He did have a hat-trick, and of course, I love everything that he brought to the pitch today. Energy, intensity, pressing, and of course, the goals. And I like the way that he responded, because a lot of people have been talking smack on his name this week because he did not have a good game against Newcastle, and I saw the commentary that has gone online about Raphinha and his efficiency this season. So coming back and having this kind of performance against Sevilla was brilliant from him. Now, overall, what did I think about this game? I thought that it was a good game from Barcelona. I thought that we needed to win, and we won well. Now, to start the first half, I didn't think that there were a lot of chances that were being created in that first half. But then one of the things that I love about this Barcelona side is that it doesn't really take much from them, to open you up. And they are going to do that. Sometimes they could do so in either, using their passing channels. Sometimes it can just take a burst of pace or creativity from one player, and then you are being left wide open. In this game today, to open up Sevilla, it was Joao Cancelo with a creativity, with a burst of pace, dribbling past his defenders and going straight into the Sevilla box. He then gets brought down in the box, and immediately the referee is well placed to award the penalty. And guess who steps up for the penalty? It is Raphinha. Steps up, does a very, very cheeky Panenka to score his first goal for Barcelona in a while, and of course to score Barcelona's first goal of the day. Now listen to me. Scoring a Panenka is not easy. Go and ask Brahim Diaz. He tried it in the AFCON finals and it went horribly, horribly wrong for him. So to see that Raphinha was able to have the guts to be able to, take on that Panenka, knowing the discussion that has been having around his performance lately, I thought it was very, very brilliant and showed the kind of confidence that he was playing with today. And I thought today too, he was still good. In that first half, there's a lot of intent. I could see his impact in trying to link up on that left wing part of the field for Barcelona, taking on a lot more defenders. I thought that he did do a lot more dribbles than we are used to seeing from Raphinha, and then he did also do some very much more direct plays, and I thought that he influenced the game a little bit. But one of the things that surprised me, and I ain't gonna kid you, is Barcelona securing a second penalty on the 20th minute of play. Now, I was surprised that it was even called, talk less of given, because again, Barcelona getting a penalty once every 15 games or whatever is something that I'm used to. Barcelona getting a penalty twice in 20 minutes is not something that I'm used to. Again, coming through Joao Cancelo. Joao Cancelo is driving into the box, or I don't think he was driving to the box. He picks up the ball at the edge of the box and he's trying to make a play into the box. The defender is on the ground and, he's already sidestepped the defender. The defender leaves an outstretched arm. His hand blocks Joao Cancelo short. Initially, the referee does not call it, but then VAR does bring his attention to it. And when you see the replay, of course, it's going to be a penalty every single day of the week. Again, Raphinha steps up to score a penalty for Barcelona. I have to admit that the Sevilla goalkeeper did guess the right way, but it didn't matter at the end of the day because he puts a lot of pace and power behind it. And in 21 minutes, Barcelona flying again in a game that I did not think that we had created enough. But I want to flag that even though at this point the Barcelona were not necessarily opening up Sevilla to the point that where chances were pouring in galore, I felt like we're holding our shape a little bit better than we did in Seville. And I think that the Barcelona players had that game in the back of their minds as to the way that Sevilla was able to one ball over the top, break our high line, break our offside trap and be able to score 4 goals. Well, they were not really, it was 4-1, so it was not unanswered. But they had that game in the back of their mind. So when Barcelona was out of, the ball, they held their shape really, really well. And even when they attack, they still attack in a very, very organized shape. But again, Barcelona will get a third goal just before halftime. And this one, it comes through a combination of how Barcelona can be direct in attack, and this one comes from a long ball, a line breaking pass I should say rather, from Pau Kubasi to Marc Bernal. Marc Bernal takes the ball to the edge of the byline, puts a cross, and guess who is on rushing in the middle of the box? Nobody marking him. It is Dani Olmo, who is well placed, has enough time to strike the ball, and he puts the ball well past the Sevilla goalkeeper. And at this point, Barcelona are cruising. We are 3-0 up, and I was looking forward to halftime. And I think the players too, this is where I want to flag that Barcelona players started to show a little bit of a lackadaisical attitude that we cannot show in midweek against Newcastle, because that goal that Sevilla ended up scoring, it was because the Barcelona defense went to sleep. I felt like at this point they had seen that the time had been raised for like 3 minutes into extra time, and so they were like, yeah, we're going to take a 3-0 lead into halftime. And so the defense was not as decisive or as crisp as it could have been. They weren't clearing the ball as quickly as they should have, or as good as they should have, I should say rather. Before this goal was even scored by also, there was an opportunity where Alexis Sanchez, he had an opportunity in the box where he could have actually struck the ball at Joan Garcia, but opted to pass, which gave Gerard Martin the opportunity to clear the ball. So that was an opportunity that went a begging. But of course, when the ball does come back again, because Barcelona did not defend it very well, also was right place to strike the ball past Joan Garcia. And this goal, I'm going to put it down to Xavi Espark, because he could have done a bit more to defend the ball and protect Joan Garcia. In this occasion, he did not do so. So I'm going to flag him for that goal on halftime. But needless to say, Barcelona come out in second half. They continue to dominate the possession, they continue to dominate Sevilla, and of course it wouldn't take long for Barcelona to hit a third, and this one, it comes through Fermin Lopez creating an opportunity for Raphinha. I have to mention that Fermin Lopez does replace Pedri at halftime, but again, if you've watched any of my videos, you would know that I love Fermin Lopez, the way he's able to pick up the ball, the way he's able to like draw defenders. Sometimes defenses expect him to shoot because that's some of the things that his tendencies to do. The way he's able to like make spaces or create chances or affect the play in a much more aggressive and direct way. Some of the things I love about Fermin Lopez. So seeing him come into this game in halftime, and it didn't even take him 10 minutes to register his impact. He finds Raphinha in the box in an opportunity where normally the defense would have expected him to shoot. He finds Raphinha. Raphinha makes a very, very good turn, strikes the ball on goal. He does take a bit of a deflection, but because his shot was originally on target, Barcelona are cruising. It's 4-1 on the night, and honestly, at this point, I'm excited because we have avenged ourselves. We have been able to like stabilize things, because again, like I said, when we visited Seville, it was a 4-1 thumping at the hands of Sevilla. So like for me, just because I wanted to get my leg back, the fact that we were able to score that fourth goal, and so soon afterwards, I was like, okay, now we are ready to start playing some good football. And it wouldn't take long, of course, for Barcelona to make it a fifth, but before then I felt like we could have had a fifth or a sixth from Robert Lewandowski. But the fifth goal will come from Joao Cancelo, where he just takes the ball. It looks like a 1-2 between Joao Cancelo and Robert Lewandowski, but in all honesty, I felt like Robert Lewandowski was being dispossessed, but Joao Cancelo picks up the ball in a very opportune position. I think it was just a little bit off a little bit further ahead from the halfway line, but really, really well back. And then he drives into the Sevilla defense, sends the defender one way, cuts back a little bit. I was thinking it was going to pass because there was a Barcelona player that's very well open if he does choose to cross the ball into the middle of the box, which is something that Barcelona would usually do. And I think that's something that the Sevilla defense was expecting. They did not expect him to take the ball on a defender to have the guts to do so. But again, this is an opportunity to do so, because like you're already winning 4-1. If you're not going to take the shot at this point, like when will you, right? He does takes the shot. He puts it beneath the goalkeeper's legs. It's a really, really good goal from Joao Cancelo. And I thought that it was a goal that was deserving of the performance that he put today. And I live for him. It's 5-1 for Barcelona on the night. From this point, it ends up being cruise control. And the thing that was kind of hilarious to me watching this game from a Barcelona standpoint of view is watching the fact that Barcelona are winning 5-1, but we still bring on Lamine Yamal. Like, we still bring on Lamine Yamal. At 5-1, we still bring on Marc Casado. We see the likes of Araujo coming in. And of course, Gavi does end up making an appearance for Barcelona when he replaced Raphinha on the 83rd minute of play, give or take. And I'm so happy for him because the response from the fans says it all. First of all, Raphinha gets a standing ovation for the hat-trick on the night, but of course Gavi does end up getting a clap ovation for returning to the field of play after having a torrid 2 years with injuries. I'm very, very happy to see this player back. He's one of the players that was very, very integral to Xavi's Barca, but seeing how injuries are kind of like set his game back, I'm kind of sad for him that he lost 2 years to the ACL and now this one, but to see him back on the pitch, I'm very, very happy for him. And at this point, you think the game is done, but Barcelona did end up conceding with the last kick of the game, and this time it was by Saul. Again, I think that the defense kind of switches up, expecting the final whistle, but I want Hansi Flick to address that with the boys. The match isn't over until it is over. A very good cross comes in from also, and so heads it clean. It's a goal. Ends 5-2. So also does end the match for Sevilla with a goal and an assist. So very good on him for the day, but 3 points in the back for Barcelona to go back 4 points clear at the top of La Liga. And when you think about it, for me, I was thinking, who do I think is the man of the match? Of course, he does go officially to Raphinha because he did score a hat-trick on the day, but I struggled between him and Joao Cancelo for the man of the match. And I think despite all my love for Raphinha, I love the fact that he responded very, very well. But I think I'm going to give it to Joao Cancelo only because, yes, Raphinha did end up with a hat-trick, but those hat-tricks would not have come without the work of Joao Cancelo, both in attack and in defense today. So I thought he was brilliant. I thought he was sensational, but he is my man of the match. But I'm happy to see that the way that Raphinha responded to his critics in this game, it is exactly what I needed from my captain. I live and I love. But that has been it from me today. Let me know who stood out for you in this game. And of course, if you like my review of this game, please give me a like and a follow. And of course, leave me a comment in the comment section. But as always, it's always going to be Vishka Barca from me. But until next time, bye guys.